Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but we're going to talk about Netflix again. We're going to talk about the animation industry, and we're going to talk about job cuts again. You know how we just talked about how DreamWorks was going to lay a bunch of people off? Well, now Netflix is laying people off too in animation. Animation is getting gutted and Twitter is most affected. Mostly, it's a lot of wannabes on Twitter. Their hopes of working in the animation industry crumbling before their very eyes. But take heart, it is still possible to make a living doing art or animation. You're just gonna have to be smarter about how you do it, and you might have to do more yourself. You might have to what's the old timey-wimey term they used to use? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps or your Birkenstock straps, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to do more yourself. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, the woohoos will be back. She's just out and about today. This is coming from Variety. We're going to talk about this because, again, this is a follow-up to what happened with DreamWorks. Okay, DreamWorks had to lay up, well, they have to. They're laying a bunch of people off and they're outsourcing more of their animation. In fact, they already laid like 70 people off. And by 2025, they want to start outsourcing more animation. Now, Netflix is doing the same thing. Basically, we're going to have a decentralized animation industry, and a lot of it's going to be sent overseas. Now, shocker, I know, most animation actually is sent overseas. The showrunners are here in the States. The storyboard artists a lot of times are here in the States, but the actual animation is usually done in like Korea or the Philippines. You know, how progressive, because a lot of those people are not being paid very well over there, but you know, as long as the showrunners get theirs, right? So let's talk about this, because I think this is what's going to happen. I think that we are going to see the animation industry get kicked out of Burbank and Glendale. I think we're still going to have people in Burbank and Glendale that are in charge of a lot of productions, but I think that streamers, especially like Netflix, are going to be more open to working with studios outside of that area, and especially working with, I hate to be that guy, working with non-union production partners, because it cuts down costs. So here we go. Coming from Variety. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. I know a lot of you animation stans don't like me very much, but I am right most of the time. Until I'm not. But this is coming from Variety. Netflix animation shakeup. Job cuts are coming. 2 films shut down as streamer explores third-party output deals. Third-party output deals. Netflix's animation unit and the film slate it controls will undergo a restructure, resulting in job cuts and the shutdown of 2 films currently in pre-production. As a result of the reorganization, the streamer is looking to recruit outside deals to keep its animated content volume consistent. Final headcounts on pink slips were not immediately clear, but are expected to be handed down in the coming weeks. A Netflix spokesperson confirmed the plans, but did not provide further comment on the matter. See our other video coming out today talking about Ted Sarandos. He is very, very much against unions, I think, at this point. In fact, he was not happy with SAG-AFTRA. He's the one, I think, that pulled out of the talks, canceled the talks, because he was mad that the union deal would have tacked more money onto every subscription, which would actually lower their subscriptions. Every time Netflix raises its prices, they tend to lose people. And if they keep raising those prices up, yeah, you might get more money per person, but you're going to have a lot fewer subs, so you're going to have a lot fewer dollars overall. After she was named animation vice president in February of 2022, executive Karen Tulliver has been tweaking the long-term strategy for the group that is still committed to a robust slate per insiders. To that end, the division is exploring output deal offers to third-party producers to air their animated works on the service. Specific companies or producers being courted were not immediately known. Well, I do know Star Trek Prodigy was picked up. Star Trek Prodigy got canceled on Paramount Plus, but apparently season 2 was done or almost done, and Netflix is going to run that. So they're basically going to run other people's content regardless of where it's being produced. You know, I think this is so weird, because they spent so much money on this Netflix animation campus. Remember a couple of years ago, they're like, we're going all in on animation, guys. And then within a year. They're like, nope, we're canceling this show and we're canceling that show and this person's fired and that person's fired. Now they're like, yeah, we're just going to outsource everything. 2 Slate projects have been put into turnaround. The first being a previously announced film titled Escape from Beverly Hills, which is going to go back onto the open market, and Tunga, a film won by Netflix at the auction in 2019 from a Zimbabwe-born creator. That film is rooted in the mythology of the Shona culture and has been sent back into development. How much do they pay for that? Despite grappling with internal strategy and larger external market factors, last week competitor DreamWorks announced it would cut 70 jobs, Netflix Animation had its biggest year ever in 2023. Yeah, Del Toro's Pinocchio did really well, but that doesn't mean they want to pay for this stuff. They're probably like, well, animation's doing really well, but we can get animation from anywhere. And we don't have to deal with these weirdos on Tumblr. Is Tumblr still a thing? Maybe not. On Twitter, we don't have to deal with the weirdos on Twitter. We're going to talk about the weirdos on Twitter. Not everybody's a weirdo, but animation Twitter certainly is a thing. And a lot of these people, there are some that do work in the animation industry. There are many who want to work in the animation industry, and now they're realizing that they're probably not going to have an animation industry to work in. Some of these people have literally packed up their bags and moved to California, went to CalArts, thinking they're going to get a job in the Western animation industry, and it's all kind of imploding right now. Kind of like the Western comic book industry. Same thing. It's all kind of imploding right now, and people are choosing manga. Now people are choosing anime. I'm seeing a pattern. I'm seeing a pattern here. And Netflix, of course, has to look at this like people are going to watch animation regardless of where it comes from. Why do we got to deal with the headaches? Why do we got to deal with these people? Let's just outsource it. So I'm going to go through some of these comments here. They're coming for animation jobs now. Again, I don't know who these people are. Do not contact any of these people. This person, I think, does work in the industry, but there is panic. There is palpable panic in the animation industry right now. And again, they're going to blame me. They're going to blame Clownfish TV for just passing the news along from trusted sources. But whatever. They're ruthlessly cutting our hard work now when we are the most desperate for work we have ever been, now when we want to work. Well, you guys didn't want to work before? If we don't pull together and take collective action with our labor, do you think they'll stop? Well, given how well things are going with SAG-AFTRA and Netflix, I don't think they're going to care. I'm seeing a lot of doom and gloom tweets from my fellow animation people, and I want to say, you have a union. You are your union. If you're feeling hopeless, get involved. If the production is outsourced, the union does not apply. What they're telling you is they're going to bypass the union. For those of you in the States, you're fine until they decide not to greenlight more Western shows. They're going to outsource more content overseas. Your union cannot help you. I'm sorry. This is the economic reality. These companies want to make more money, and frankly, unions add to the cost of the productions. And there are some really excellent shows and movies on Netflix. They do put some good stuff out. But, it is what it is, guys. They're trying to save money. My tinfoil hat theory is that studios are starving out animation people, so they're desperate before the strikes can begin in June. I could be wrong, but considering what they said about starving out the SAG-AFTRA and WGA, it wouldn't surprise me. That is probably true. I think Sophie knows what's up. I think they're already laying down the gauntlet. Like, if you animation people are thinking about going on strike too, well, it's not going to matter because we're already making deals overseas. It does not matter. Between this, DreamWorks now outsourcing more and more Cartoon Network and WB shows being picked up at HB Europe. Again, your Western Union, I do not believe covers that because it's in Europe. It feels like Hollywood's activity trying to undermine a tag strike before they can even do it by assuring there are no more studios in LA to work in. Young fool, only now at the very end. I've been telling people this for years. Eventually, the animation industry is going to be decentralized out of necessity. And greed. I mean, it is going to be a case of the studios are going to try to get stuff as cheap as they can get it, but also it's very expensive to produce shows out of Hollywood, Burbank, Glendale. And also they have to deal with Twitter people and all the drama. And I think they greenlit a lot of shows thinking they were popular because Twitter liked them, only to realize they weren't very popular. Meanwhile, they're watching stuff like, Arcane do gangbusters and watching anime do gangbusters, and like, why are we paying all this money for these Western shows when they're like the worst performing shows that we have on our platform, when we could just get more anime or get more Korean stuff? You know what I'm saying? That's what they're thinking. And I know you don't like to hear it, and I know it doesn't help. It doesn't give you the warm fuzzies. I'm not a very warm fuzzy guy. I can be a dick, and I'm very proud of my dickishness. It gets me by. That's why I've lived as long as I have. Animation peeps, I know it's looking rough, and for my union peers, let's get involved and get stuff done. We're in this together. No, they're bypassing you completely. It's not going to help. They don't need you. That's why I'm saying, like, you need to rethink. And I'm going to offer you some unsolicited advice as a YouTube content creator who also does many things, including comics. And we do some other things we don't even talk about. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the stuff we actually do. That being said, right now, your best bet is yourself. Your best bet is do what's best for you. You're going to have to learn to be an individualist. You're going to have to do what's best for you. Go start your own social media platform. Make your own animation. Take control of your own career. Try to get something picked up that way. Try to see if you can, work within the new parameters, because things are never going to go back to what they were. Okay, the days of going to CalArts and getting a cushy job at Disney or Cartoon Network or whatever, they're over. They shut the Cartoon Network studio down. They're going to shut Rooster Teeth down. Okay, they'll eventually close down that Netflix campus if they haven't already. I don't know what the hell's going on. I think Pixar is next. I think they'll probably shut Pixar down and then just merge Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios together and just make theatrical films, because that makes most sense, right? You have to bet on yourself. And I mean, I know everybody's like telling you, like, we're all in this together. No, you're not. You really aren't. You're not in this together. There's not enough room for all of you. So you're going to have to be like the Joker, okay, and break that damn pool cue in half. And one of you is walking out of that room. One of you is getting the job. Who's it going to be? It's going to be the person who does whatever it takes to get theirs. Okay, and that's unsolicited advice from a salty old libertarian. But I'm telling you, it is going to be survival of the fittest, and you're going to have to be better than your peers. You're going to have to be smarter than your peers, and you're going to have to learn to work within the new paradigm if you want to work in this industry. Or you could just go bag groceries and bitch about how you wanted to work in animation on Twitter. That's up to you. It's entirely up to you. It's your choice. Survive or die, right? I'm going to be doing a video about Ahsoka. Survive or die. You have a choice. Man, I really hope the world gets to see Tunga. So apparently this person worked on it. It's kind of interesting, right? Support TAG when their contract is up. I finally break in. The industry is breaking down. Morale feels non-existent. I got to keep head up and eyes forward. This is what's going on. This is why I believe so many people in animation Twitter and Tumblr, whatever, absolutely fucking hate me, is because we're usually right. And it comes from experience. It's not us trying to be negative. It's not us trying to break your dreams. I'm telling you, everything is doable if you figure out how to do it. Okay? But so many people just follow the herd. You're not going to be able to follow the herd anymore. You're going to all fall off a damn cliff like a bunch of lemmings. There will be jobs in animation. You can make your own jobs in animation. But if you don't have what it takes, and I'm not just talking the ability to draw or animate well or tell a story. I'm talking if you don't have the business sense. Look at all the people that started. Look at Walt Disney. You have to have the business sense to go along with it. You have to be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps or your Birkenstock straps or whatever the fuck and do it yourself. Look at Vivzy Pop. She's a good example, modern day. She got a deal because she put her own pilot out there. You can do it. You can do it, but it's not going to happen through the system like it was before. And the same with comics too. You can make comics and you can make money in comics. You can't do it through the system anymore because the system is broken and is not coming back. Okay. Some of you will be ready for that. Some of you will not be ready for that. But bitching about it doesn't fix anything. Wishing, hoping that you're somebody else is going to come in and bail you out and fix your problems. You got to depend on yourselves. I'm just saying. Can the industry stop treating animation like trash for 5 minutes? That's true. Animation is usually kind of on the back burner. News like this makes me want to grapple with the fear that animation work may no longer be in the USA within 10 years. It's not going to. I'm sorry, GadWorks. It's not going to. Showrunners will be here. You know, studios will be in charge of productions that are predominantly done overseas because it's cheap. Look at leadership and execs on a winning streak out of outright fucking up and destroying projects while the average worker pays for their mistakes. I'm sorry. You can do it. You can do it. Just you're not all going to do it. This industry is hell-bent on screwing us in any way they can. Please, Netflix, keep telling us about how you think animation is so important. They did. We told you this and you thought we were lying. Clownfish TV doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Netflix isn't. They're all in on animation. Animation's fine. The whole industry is going to be great, guys. It's fantastic. These shows aren't getting canceled. We're not getting canceled. Nothing's getting canceled. Animation's too important. I'm too important. I'm too special. I was the best artist in school. A lot of people can draw well, right? That's not what's going to make a career for you. I probably would have been a fantastic, realistic professor in art school. Now, Geeky actually is an art teacher. She's a lot nicer than I am. Trust me, if you want to meet one of us in person, it's her, not me. Because I will tell you to your face, if you don't have the balls to do this yourself, to have a DIY approach, you're already fucked. If you're going to whine about it on Twitter and be like, they're pulling the rug out from underneath us, you're already fucked. Do you think Walt Disney whined when they stole Oswald from him? You know what he did is he had somebody else making Mickey Mouse in the other room. He had Ub making Mickey Mouse in the other room. Fine, you're going to take Oswald. I'm going to fuck you over. I'm going to go get Mickey Mouse started. Son of a bitch. I'm going to take what's mine. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take what's yours if you want it. I'm sorry. I am sorry. This is a new reality. God, I sound old and grumpy. But it's the truth. And I think more of these kids need to learn the truth. There is work out there. There's money out there. Go get it. But don't expect your peers to help you get it. Anyway, there we go, guys. Things are changing. Painful state of mourning my industry. Shocked there was even animation left to cut after Netflix went scorched earth. It's become the worst place to work in animation. Remember that big campus just a couple of years ago? Hey, remember 4 years ago when Reed Hastings says long-term ambition was to compete with Disney? Yeah. Yeah, guys. But you know what? Companies lie. They lie all the time. Schools lie to you too. They tell you that there are careers waiting for you. Sometimes there just aren't. Sometimes you have to, again, do it yourself. All the greats did it themselves. They went out on their own. They did it themselves. And you can too. Some of you can. I would say, judging by the reactions I'm seeing, maybe about 0.2% of animation Twitter actually has what it takes to do it themselves. And everybody else is just going to cry about it. So it's up to you. Figure it out. You figure it out. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.